Sitting here with us is Mr. Doyin Okupe. He's of the Accord Party, former presidential spokesperson. Thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily. You've heard Hassan in our Abuja studios what he said about the RAPC. He says that they are greedy and they are not a threat to the APC. What will become of the RAPC, do you think? Will they last 2 months, for instance?
Well, thank you very much. I watched Hassan, and he's a very exciting young man, and I really wish and pray that he will go a long distance in politics. If you have not been to war, you probably will not recognize what real threats of war are. He says the PDP, they are not a threat. That is assuming that the situation of the government and the APC today is the same as in 2015. It's far, far, far from that. The government and the APC are resting on a very shaky foundation right now.
How so?
Because, you know what has happened in the last 3 years? Promises have not been kept. People are disappointed, whether for good or for bad. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying this is what is on the ground. Situations are hard. Life is becoming unbearable. There's a lot of religious division. There are ethnic problems. There are killings. So, the popularity of the government is at its lowest ebb. This is not a government or a party that can afford even a minuscule loss of his followership. That's why I said that, the gentleman there, Hassan, not having been to war, may not recognize what threats are. I was at war. I know many people in 2014 or 2015, made similar statements in Jonathan's administration. Oh, Kwankwaso, what can they do? Bukola Saraki, nothing. They have no use. In fact, you can actually repeat word for word, verbatim, what Hassan is saying. But we suffered for it. So I'm just, it's something that, Oshomole, the chairman, said is not losing any sleep. He won't lose sleep now because the events are yet to happen. He will lose sleep after February 2019. That is when he will have serious insomnia. Right now, he will not, because he is in a state of euphoria. No, but insomnia itself will come.
He only believes that the APC at this point, as it stands now, is not a naked party, and it still got the powers of the president and still has the powers of the Central Working Committee of the APC. And that's enough. That cannot be wished away.
For me, I will openly admit here, that I have never believed that APC was a political party. It's a caricature.
Really?
Yeah. I said it. I said it many years ago. Even at the formation of the APC, that's why people say the Okupe is a bastard. Is this? Is that. I said, because this is my 38 years in politics in Nigeria, and I can see things when they come. I can project what is likely going to happen. The amalgamation I saw, and the coming together that I saw, I knew that these were immiscible elements, and it's a matter of time. They did very well. I'm surprised, that they've stood together for this long, which somebody should give them kudos for that. But it was an inevitability that the NPDP will break away. It is given. The Tinubu faction ought to have left. A lot of maneuvering took place also to bridge that gap. So, all they have been doing, they've never really practiced or existed as a political party. You look at PDP. I'm not in PDP anymore. All right? You cannot say, oh, this is a weakest part of PDP, or this is a social part of PDP. Because the party is thoroughly mixed and it doesn't belong really to anybody, and people didn't come to it in sections and in already casted formats. But APC is at best, all sorts of building blocks that are incongruous and not fitting, hurriedly put together to seize power without any program or plan or any, any vision whatsoever. We can see all that. So, what we're seeing now is, is a consequence of the type. And then you see, when they came into government, they were not serious or sincere enough with themselves to, knowing their backgrounds, to even try to weld themselves together. If the NPDP,
let me just quickly come.
If the NPDP left,
they have a new chairman of the party in the person of Adams Oshomole. What must the APC do at this point, do you think, for them to survive this war that you talk of?
Adams Oshomole's first steps doesn't show a man that is, he's matured and he's experienced. I'm surprised he's saying, he's saying what he's saying. Filibustering or grandstanding for a national chairman is not it. If I was the national chairman of APC and that question was asked of me, I would say, well, these are very veritable, notable politicians amongst us. It's a pity they're taking this stand, but we're still working at it. We're going to find a way to do something. Then I will go behind and call my people and say, look, this is a serious matter. What are the threats here? How do we handle it? Do you understand? But to come and say they don't mean anything, let them go.
Even though we still have to have him sit with you, perhaps at another forum to argue this out with you.
No problem.
But going forward now, if we have this RAPC on the one hand, you have NPDP also, you have APC, you have the PDP, also confusing for a lot of people. Do we really have an opposition?
There's no confusion. There's no confusion here. We have an opposition, but it's yet to coalesce into a visible, tensile, format. The opposition, people have recognized it from a while back. You cannot build a formidable opposition, against the current administration without PDP.
Are you not expecting another gathering of strange bedfellows?
Very good. That is why, if reason prevail here, I haven't seen, that's why I'm surprised about APC. You've seen Jonathan and his administration and PDP make, fundamental errors. All right? Now, you know what Winston Churchill said? He said, failure to act when action will have been simple and effective. Confusion of counsel. All these lead to the endless repetition of history. Nigeria is about to witness it's the same scenario. It's quite a joke. So simple. A big chunk, not it just have to be a big chunk. A major chunk of a political platform departs, all right? Creates an imbalance, reinforces the other party, and they come to victory. It happened before in 2015.
So it's going to happen again. You think it's going to happen?
It is inevitable. If you have a free and fair election, this, Jonathan and his administration were not this damaged and, in this type of precarious balance when the NPDP left. Right now, this government, this party, APC, is at its lowest ebb they have. The followership, let me tell you something. Hassan was talking about 12 million reserve votes for Buhari. All that is mythology. It is true that Buhari consistently has had 12 million votes from the north. All right, that is true. But I want to draw your attention to something. Because the northerners themselves are part of Nigeria and part of these economic problems that we're in, if you look at it...
That's not to say the southerners are not part of the problem.
Just hold on. They said that that Buhari has these votes in the north and it's 12 million. All right? I'm telling you that that's a myth. If you agree that, let us assume that it is true, that he had 12 million in 2015. By now, minimum of 10% of that vote has gone because of people who are not really happy.
But that's not enough for him not to win it again.
I've not finished.
Okay.
Buhari had about 2 million votes from the middle belt. 80% of that is gone. And I will explain to you. Kwara will not vote for him. Kogi will not vote for him. Niger State will not vote for him. Benue will not vote for him.
But you cannot say that here. You cannot say that. No, because we have to go to the polls first and let the people make their choice.
Do you want to?
It's still far away. It's still months away from this point.
Explain to you? Kwara, you saw what happened, a few days ago when that judgment was given on behalf of Saraki. The entire city of Ilorin went agog. You know that the Sarakis of this world control Kwara votes is not, there's no argument about it. That the Babangidas and the leaders and the elders of Niger State swing votes in Niger State whatever they want. If they feel that PDP is what they wanted, like in the case of Aliyu Babangida, you know, Niger State went to PDP. When they feel that there was something wrong and they disagreed, they took it to APC. So there are people who take such decisions. Those who take it in Niger today are not with this administration. So Kogi is not in, Kwara is not in, Mina is not in, Benue, I can assure you, will not vote for APC. But Plateau will not vote for APC. That is 5 states out of 6 in the middle belt. Anything that Buhari, or the APC candidate loses in the north, it will not be recovered anywhere else.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you, that the elections have not been done yet, so you cannot conclude or sway the people's mind. I know you are, but
this program is
we have to wait. We have to wait and see and get to that point when the elections come through, and then people are able to exercise their votes and then see who they like. If President Buhari gets the APC ticket, or whoever is going to get the APC ticket in the APC, if it's going to be our APC person that will get it, so be it.